Cutting edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. All right, you divine lions and lionesses, warriors of wellness is back. Join us here in the live chat for this powerful story of LifeWave, because the future is now, because this is natural Star Trek-like technology driving healing miracles for people in 80 plus countries around the planet. In fact, I have 3 major healing miracles just with these X39 stickers alone, because the founder of the company is one of America's most prolific inventors of our time, nicknamed Tesla of our time. In fact, we're going to be sharing with you, myself and serial entrepreneur Connie Lucas, top of our company, powerful information regarding Cellergize AM and X39, how it activates all of your stem cells in your genome. You won't find this anywhere else. Plus, going to play that viral video of Captain Kirk at LifeWave headquarters, William Shatner, which everybody loves. There's tons of laughs. Bring your questions. We'll see you in the live chat very soon. Share this everywhere, because you won't find this anywhere else. God bless you, and see you soon. And welcome back, you divine lions, lionesses. I'm Brad Wozni, your host, and backstage about to join us in a moment is Connie Lucas, just like you heard in the introduction. So this is the episode of Warriors Wellness, which is the last one of the season. So we're going to break down the God code in our DNA. We got a clip here from Greg Braden we'll be sharing with you. This is what LifeWave X39 looks like that I mentioned in the trailer. So again, it's a size of a cord, thin as a few hairs. And once again, this was first conceived for the elite U.S. Navy SEAL special operations combat operations to take out to their SDV swimmer delivery vehicle teams. David Schmidt is a son of an inventor, and now David has become one of America's most prolific inventors. Right now, actually, is of our time with 200 patents, thanks to starting LifeWave, the company. So now it's been awarded LifeWave X39 that I showed you, and this Cellergize AM as the 2025 BIOTECH Stem Cell Innovation of the Year. So you're utilizing patented mechanisms proven to reverse biological aging, accelerate healing from severe injuries. I've had them. You're going to hear about that. And activate the next evolution of quantum wellness. So again, what we're talking about here is backed by dozens of clinical studies. There's over 200 patents issued spanning 21 years and growing global adoption. You might have seen it from everywhere else in here. And again, this is doing incredible things for human performance, recovery, pain management, without drugs, without invasive procedures. Plus, what's great is we'll examine a biblical revelation of healing water, literally decoded from the Bible by David Schmidt, now realized, and it's been patented as a never seen before water machine, due to come out likely next month in 2026. So this has been inspired by ancient scripture. It's generated directly as a gift from the frequencies of creation itself. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all, and returning back to the show, serial entrepreneur Connie Lucas. Connie, thanks for joining us from your home in Arizona. Hi.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This will be fun.
Oh, incredibly fun. You know, again, this energy enhancer is the first group of patches started for the Navy SEALs, which David invented, right? It took him years to bring it out. And it was a black project then for the Spec Ops teams. And we all know SEALs have a warrior's mindset and a winning mindset, the psychology of winning. And so when I look across, entrepreneurs, A-level players in the world, you and your husband totally exemplify that, both at a personal level and then professional, because each one of you are entrepreneurs with your own separate businesses. And very much like women, I've noticed that intuitively, far more intuitive than men typically, are drawn to something. They're more open-minded to and intuitive to tap into wellness, as opposed to, like Gregory Muscari said, chemical weapons and surgical strikes aren't the way to heal the body. And as a Reiki master myself, over a decade, practicing nearly a quarter century, I am totally drawn to things that are of light, that are of benevolence. And this is exactly thanks to you, Barry, our team, Michael, Tracy, Joe, Jennifer, everybody else. You brought this into my life 2 years ago and 2 months ago, and has literally changed my life and also helped evolve our show. So I want to thank you all for that, because you guys are literally the A players at the top level of the company and the top of your business. And you're almost college or high school sweethearts, right? So again, you have that divine masculine and feminine relationship, which is so strong. And I think that's a bond the world is returning to right now. So thank you for what you all do.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You know, it really is about that ripple effect. I mean, Brad, we didn't know each other before LifeWave,
Yep.
and Barry and I being introduced to it through a friend and taking a look and getting the opportunity, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, throughout the show, for Barry and I to actually meet David Schmidt in 2020, spend a weekend with him at his and his staff, really kicking the tires, looking at this company. If we're going to we saw the technology at work. My husband was our guinea pig. He saw the patches, and he says, "What do they do?" I go, "I don't know. I think they're supposed to activate your stem cells." And
Yeah.
he said, "Great, I'll use them." So he starts wearing, this little tiny patch that you're showing, and he's wearing it 12 hours on, 12 hours off on his belly button. And I say thankfully in a tongue in cheek, he was doing some work. A branch punctured his inner thigh, the diameter of a quarter. So this deep, dark, deep puncture wound, a diameter of a quarter. And 6, 7 days later, he's like, "Look at this." I'm like, "What is it?" He goes, "That's that wound." And it was like a scar, as if it had been there his whole life from when he was a kid. It had healed that quickly, that beautifully. And I go, "Wow. Okay, that's what they said it would do." And so, fast forward, we're really seeing things change. I'm getting better sleep. I'm postmenopausal and I'm sleeping like I hadn't slept in years. Getting better performance in workouts and recovering quicker. I'm not a super athlete. I'm just, a mom, now grandma, going to the gym and working out. And I'm recovering quicker, which means you can get back to doing your life again. You feel like you want to go back, and that's just an upward spiral. And so we got to meet David Schmidt. We got invited to meet him, to take a look at this company, and we knew if we were going to throw our hearts over the bar and try to create his mission of bringing really all of these inventions, these creations, these life-changing technologies to the world, we needed to know who that man was.
Yeah.
And we needed to know what the company was about. So we really had that opportunity. And from there, once you have that deep belief, it's just a ripple effect. I mean, we basically talked to our really, really dear friend Barbara, and Barbara talked to her dear friend Jen, and Jen met Michael and Tracy Joe. They brought in you, and so you just don't know the effect. And now,
Yeah.
because of your following, Michael's following, the people have come in, we've changed tens of thousands of lives that we
Easily.
couldn't have touched otherwise. So
Mhm.
it's been a blast. So
It,
thank you guys.
Wow, totally a blast. And for anybody who doesn't know, this David's on the left. That's Mickey Wills from Plandemic, The Great Awakening, and Coda Creation standing behind them at the premiere of the massive documentary, which is going to be coming out about this. Greg Braden's a part of it. Will be coming out about David's life again, America's most prolific inventor of our time, nicknamed Spock in college, which is cool because we were chatting pre-chat before coming on. We'll be talking about David a little bit later in the show, everybody. Uh, is that what we have here from 2 years ago when I had I call it a healing miracle from a frozen soldier that Tiger Woods and Lindsey Vaughn's orthopedic surgeon in Vail, Colorado, best of the best in the world. People fly in on their private jets to see this guy, sports teams, special operators, whatnot. And he said it would never heal. And thanks to these, I call them stickers that everybody has seen, right? X39 and the Ice Wave took my pain away. And it was a 9 out of a 10, dropped to a 1 out of 10 in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. 10 minutes later, the pain was gone. And then I started the healing protocol with X39, a few of the other patches. So, what this man has done, I started calling it Star Trek technology then. And we've all heard about med beds in our industry, what we speak, if you want to call it an industry, this type of podcasting or shows. And even though nobody's seen a med bed, right? for me, it was like Star Trek. I remember Dr. Beverly Crusher, right? Or Bones back in the day, and Jim would sit down and Captain Kirk, and we've got a video of Captain Kirk William Shatner here soon, everybody, because he is fully behind this company. But I remember them, Connie, going like they walk in and Dr. Beverly Crusher and Next Generation, because I know we have Trekkies now finally watching this show, or Bones would go up, broken arm, put back together, and out you go. Like, what happened here? And it was about frequency. And Albert Einstein said that the medicine of the future will be frequency. And here we are. We have Greg Braden, God Code. We have Code of Creation, this documentary to come out to billions of people in the world very shortly, making a household name. And then we now have the BIOTECH Award, which everybody I mentioned earlier, but even though many people might not have heard about it in the general household name, this is completely significant. So before we talk about William Shatner, and we're going to tap into the healing miracle stories I've had and others, and that, show some slides here too, everybody. Connie, would you mind just sharing the prominence of this BIOTECH Award for Stem Cell Innovation of the Year, which is X39, and the Cellergize supplement you put in your water each morning?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal. When you take and you look up this award, thousands and thousands of biotech companies submit their technologies in all types of field. And, we're usually talking, we're a general wellness product, right? We don't claim to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent anything. We're about signaling the body to put the body back into coherence, put the body back into a place where it can take care of itself. It can do exactly what it knows how to do. And so many of these companies that you're going to see in this, when you look through there, that submitted into this category or won awards in other categories, they're medical companies, device companies, they're pharmaceutical companies. You don't see wellness companies in that category. And that just speaks to David, his patents, our depth of our science, that we were awarded that combination as Stem Cell Innovation of the Year. And it's our X39 technology, so simple, so easy for people to use, creating that communication that your body needs, communicating to your body to upregulate in the form of X39, a copper peptide GHKCU. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. The work of Dr. Lauren Picard is fascinating. Over 4 decades of research that you can look at it in PubMed.gov and see what it's all about. And you can see from our patents, our studies, that we help the body produce that. Take Cellergize, take some of the ingredients in it that are known to help with stem cell activation, take in the fact of giving your body the minerals that it needs in order, again, for the body to have that flow of energy, that communication. And we know that so many people get very, very quick we see about 70% of people get something noticeable in the first 24 hours of using X39. It's working regardless. You just don't feel everything that it's working on, right? And then you add in Cellergize, and it just amplifies those results. And so it's a really amazing duo.
Yeah, it certainly is. And what I had shown on the screen there, just for impact, what you all heard Connie mention, there are pharmaceutical companies and biotech companies that failed to receive this award in a wellness, all natural, non-invasive sticker and an all natural supplement powder that you put in your water. Beat them. So we have big pharma, boom, Gandhi, and some other biotech companies and when you're a biotech company, I've had a little bit on the side in terms of friends of mine who've worked for them. There's millions and millions of dollars, if not tens of millions or more, poured into research to try to do something that this sticker costs a Starbucks a day, X39, and then the Cellergize supplement, it just blow them out of the water, and rightfully so, because it's activating that frequency within us. And this to me is the most phenomenal example of this frequency technology working for us. And this is an image of a man who, again, it almost looks Frankensteinish, but this is in 8 weeks of the healing that's happened after surgery. And we have many doctors and other people who are blown away and they leverage it in their practices too. So, before we get to the William Shatner video, would you just care to comment on some of the things that we can comment on because we're still being compliant, everybody?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
there are dark forces that do not want this out there.
Yep.
You know,
It's really interesting because when you look at this technology and what it can do for, to you pointed out, a cup of coffee today, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee today. I mean, we're
Yep.
talking like $3.80 a day or something, right? It's
Yeah,
it's it's really crazy
nuts.
how
Yeah,
inexpensive. And I want to speak to that from the standpoint of knowing David. So
yeah,
when we met him and we were talking to him about when he launched, which we met him about a year into the launch of X39, and he said when he first was putting it out to his field leaders before he launched, they were getting these profound results. I mean, people that had really had chronic severe things going on for decades were getting amazing results. And his field leaders were coming back saying, you could easily sell this for $500 a month. Like anybody would buy this. This is unbelievable what it could do. And David said, no, I want it affordable. I want anyone to be able to afford that. Now, here's the amazing thing. When he's sharing that story, it's 2020. The company at the time was 14 years old, and David had never raised the price of his patches. He launched the X39 at $99 a month because you get 30 little patches in a sleeve, so you have 30 days worth. And he launched it at 99.95 a month at wholesale pricing, and anybody can buy at wholesale pricing. Brad, if they come to you and they get it through you, they're going to get your wholesale pricing. Whether they're a customer, whether they want to sign up as brand partners and help spread the word like we do, either way, they're going to be able to buy at wholesale pricing. Buyer beware. We have gotten to be such a big company. If you see it out there, Walmart.com, eBay, places like that, it is very, very likely it is not our product, because as soon as a company starts to get over, closer to $1 billion, you're going to start seeing knockoffs, right?
yeah,
So buyer beware, buy it through somebody you know, go to Brad's link. That's going to get you efficacious product from the company. So when David talked about this and he said, I want everybody to be able to afford this. I want every household in the world to be able to be on this technology. Now, what happened to us in 2020? Is there one thing that you can think of that the price has not gone through the roof on anything since 2020? David has not raised the prices. It is exactly the same price. And to speak to Cellergize, just as a little add-in, I've been a supplement junkie for decades. The amount of supplements I shove in my mouth is almost silly. Maybe some of you can relate. And so when you look at how comprehensive this formula is, he he put all of these things in that you need to
yeah,
help your body
yeah.
do what it needs to do, and he did it for it's I think $69 a month. If you order 2 at a time, it's 59, 3 at a time, it's 49. Please tell me one supplement you don't pay that for, let alone a comprehensive group of supplements. So it's so
Yeah.
affordable and it's just life-changing.
It is, and, thank you for saying that, affordability, and since we have Rumble and YouTube, this is streaming to, Caraboko, which is the handle on Rumble, just said, "I have used these patches for 2 years, they're miraculous," and happen to know that this is a, customer of ours in Quebec. So absolutely incredible, once again, totally about miraculous, which, again, another person from Quebec happens to be William Shatner, born and raised in Montreal, Canada, Captain Kirk. And as a result of that, he is like the spokesperson for the company now. And you have got to see the release of this at the conference when you were there with the entire team. And now it's starting to make its way around the world, this video right now. But we know William Shatner is going to do a little bit more. I'm teasing now, everybody, a little bit more with the company. But Connie, would you mind just setting up the significance of William Shatner and the relationship with David Schmidt for everybody, and this company and technology before we play the video of that everybody.
Well, I mean, of course, David is, it's as an inventor, you pointed out Star Trek, right? And as an inventor, I mean, when David's uncle was an inventor. He had 150 patents. He wanted to, and David told us this when we first met him, I really want to beat my uncle. And at that point, think back in 2020, he wasn't even at 100 patents at that point. He's now at 201. I mean, really, really amazing technologies that he's created. And so William Shatner, Captain Kirk, was kind of one of his childhood heroes, and
Yeah.
he got to meet him. He got to get involved with him. He also hired for our Welcome Center, which anybody can go through in Draper, Utah. He hired the set designer for Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and all of those films. He hired him to create our Welcome Center. So our Welcome Center has an amazing, you're going to see a little bit of our Welcome Center tour in this video you're going to show. So lots of fun. And let's get real. Does William Shatner at his advanced age need these products? Yes. Does he need to be making money? No. He just loves LifeWave.
Yep. Yep. And just so you know, everybody, he's in his 90s and he's crushing it right now. You'll
Yeah.
see. So here we are, William Shatner, the world's oldest intern at LifeWave.
I've lived a long life. I've done a lot of things. But I've never been an intern.
I'm the founder, sure, but I'm also an inventor. My latest experiment? Hire William Shatner. But as an intern. No way I can afford that guy full-time.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm going to be your trainer for today.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Alicia.
William Shatner?
Yeah, well, you can call me Bill. Or Enter. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's just fine. Today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of our Welcome Center. I hear they have something like a Captain's Bridge and Welcome Center. Feels like you're traveling through space. Have an award-winning production designer.
This I gotta see.
For decades. And hey, Bill.
No, please, no sci-fi today. I'm just an intern. That's it. I'm just beamed in. Yeah, I know that look. I get that look whenever I sneak around, and you're sneaking. Go away. I'm busy. Jackpot. You didn't see a thing. People gotta see this.
Bill. Who let you in here?
He let me in here.
Bill? Captain?
Oh, you have to get out here. The old intern who looks an awful lot like me, he's messing things up.
But wait, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi thing. Come on.
What was his name?
David, what's that? Is that in budget?
Oh,
There you are. Come on. Back to the group.
people gotta see this.
I know. It's a part of the tour.
Oh,
Yeah.
you ready for me? Doug, Bill, John, Bill, John, Bill.
You know Doug.
Do I know Doug? Star Trek designer on props and sets and the spaceships and this? Came out beautifully, huh? Oh, Doug.
Hey, Bill.
Oh,
One of your clones said you're causing trouble.
you're taking the word for clown?
Personally, I always go with the original.
That's a good idea.
I have a question. Are you really going to be an intern here?
But, yeah, why not? But first, I gotta tell you about the Welcome Center here at the LifeWave offices.
Okay, this is a commercial. Got it.
No. It's a kind of soft sell. No, just a simple suggestion, really. Copy this QR code to learn about LifeWave, its products, and their amazing welcome center, and that's it. I had a great time experiencing their amazing life-changing technology and learning about the opportunities surrounding one of the fastest-growing companies on the planet, and you will too. So check them out, and just tell them Bill sent you, the real Bill, not that sci-fi clone. Oh, okay. Hey, duty calls. Back to internet. Bye-bye.
I watch it every time I crack
Oh,
up. I just crack up. Two of my favorite parts. I love Meredith Burkage is our president of the company, and I love when she sticks her head in and she's like, "Is that in budget?" You know? And then they got Doug Dressler, who created it, involved and
oh my
created,
gosh.
all of that. Just so fun, so fun.
Well, yeah, to the point of Doug, for everybody who's not familiar with that man, so he has known to have designed every Star Trek television and movie set, as well as the ships, whether the Klingon ships and Vulcans and all the other ones and Borg, etc., all throughout the decades. And this was actually his first time ever doing a scene with William Shatner. So they've known each other since the original Star Trek. What's also cool about that is David hired Doug to design the Welcome Center so it emulated the Enterprise. So you feel like you're walking around and it's showing off the new technology from the company. And while it's not available yet, free energy devices, the LifeWave X2O water machine, when that eventually launched, which again, dark forces are attempting to prevent that from launching. I think that is a great segue in a few moments' time, everybody, because what's really key is we have a lot of people who live in pain. And just had a conference this weekend, which Connie, you and Barry and members of our team were at. And this is a screenshot Michael took of the slide about pain around the world. And this was my first healing miracle, was pain and my getting out of the pain of my frozen shoulder that I mentioned earlier. And then I'm coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the loose molar and some massive pain there, and how these patches literally healed it in 8 weeks. I'll tell everybody about that in a few moments' time. Well, would you mind just first describing what people are seeing, all based on this data on chronic pain in America and for most people around the world?
It's interesting because most people don't realize. I think you as a Reiki master would understand it, but many people don't realize that pain is blocked energy. And what do the technologies do but help improve the flow of energy through the body, right? That's one of the reasons that we're able to address it. But when you look at pain too, pain is not the problem. It feels like the problem, but it's not. Pain is the alarm. It is the alarm telling your body something's not right, right? And sometimes pain can come back. Sometimes, you could start on a healing journey, pain comes back. That's part of the healing is, feeling journey. But for the most part, it's the move of energy. It's the fact that X39 is going to address the underlying cause of what's going on. It's about putting that body again back into homeostasis, back into a place where your body can do what it innately knows how to do. And I remember talking to a neurologist on our team one time, and he had worked, in his medical practice for decades. And he finally said he was so tired of seeing people not get better. I mean, his job really became to tell people how they were going to basically lead this horrible life, decline, and die. Like, he felt like that was his entire practice.
Right.
And he started to move into wellness, into food as medicine, into other modalities and whatnot. And so he had already been working quite a few years in food as medicine, changing lifestyle, going down a natural path with a lot of his patients. And he went into LifeWave. And as he started working with his patients, I said to him, what is it that you're seeing that's different? Right? What are you seeing? And he said 100% coherence immediately. And what he meant by that is when you're taking supplements, when you're taking all these other things, you may be eating whole foods, taking supplements, but most people have a very inferior GI tract. It's about getting those things to your tissue, cells, glands, organs. What he was seeing is because this patch, when it is placed within your body's infrared light, is activated, is shooting a frequency signal, a light, into the body to help the body to be able to handle the salts, let's just say. And he said what was happening is people who were very, very, very chronically compromised were getting results immediately. He said it was just speeding up the timeline, and people that it might take him 9 months, a year, 2 years of these other changes to get results, he was able to really advance that and start getting results right away and start moving towards completely resolving, some of the things they were dealing with. So that's a big piece of it. And so again, with what we experience, if we have time, I'll share really fast a story that blew my mind. We were at an event and a woman came up to me and she says, "Can you help my husband?" And I said, "I don't know." And she brings him over, and he's an older gentleman, and he says, he's in a lot of pain. And I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And he said 15. And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, I have no idea, but let's go ahead and give it a try." And again, we're moving the flow of energy through the body. So I take an X39 on the back of his neck. I put LifeWave, which are only meant to be temporary. They are a pain tech or a, discomfort technology. And I put them on the bottom of his feet, on the bottom of his socks, not on his skin. I put them on the bottom of his socks. I said, "Stand up and just walk down here a ways. Come back and let me know how you feel." Well, this is a man who had trouble getting up and down. He stood right up. He stood more erect. He walked down. He was down at the way. My husband's across the auditorium, and he sees that this man is crying. And he's thinking, what is going on? The wife comes running back to me. The husband comes walking back, and they look at me, and I'm like, what is going on? He grabs my face, and he said, "Do you know," he says, "I will never forget you." And he says, "Do you know how long I've been in pain?" And I said, 30 years. He goes, "I've been in pain for 50 years. Since Vietnam, I've had over 50 surgeries. I've been in pain every single day, excruciating pain for 50 years. I cannot believe this." And to this day, I think it's been about 2.5 years now, he and his wife both still on all the technologies, doing great. And it just shows you, the power and the impact that you can have. His pain wasn't the issue. His pain was the alarm. We started setting everything back into motion for him.
Yeah, and to help somebody like that, a veteran especially, in half of a century in pain at that level. Colonel Chuck Sellers has been on here many times, retired deputy commander of Delta Force, and he's even said on the show, said with others, that he retired in 2004 because of an issue with his back, extreme pain, and we can tell he can say what it is, dish disease with the back. And as a result of that, he's been in pain for all of those years later until I gifted him and his wife some of the patches. And just with LifeWave, the same patch that took my pain away, and then using X39 start restoring the body. His 19 years since he had retired of pain went away in minutes, and was able to go to a rodeo with his grandson for an entire 8 hours and stand there in cowboy boots, and he was elated. And his wife has never seen him out of pain since he got into it like this. So once again, you have an ability here for men and women getting out of pain. The slide that you showed here from the conference, this blew my mind, because again, this is data that is direct from the NIH and the CDC, that chronic pain costs the United States an estimated $635 billion annually. 770 million people globally are affected by chronic pain, which is what I had with my shoulder until you all got me going 26 months ago on these patches. And it says 1 in 5 US adults experience pain. 15% of Americans age 65 and older use prescription pain relief drugs, which are extremely costly. And the common types of pain are back, migraine, neck, facial, and arthritis. So just imagine what a life could be like out of pain. And I know that from the chronic pain, the stuff that I've been through, being run over on a motorcycle, and other things that have happened to me throughout my life for being very, very active life, like some of the other people, like Colonel Sellers or Michael. And as a result of that, it overrides every decision you make when you're in pain. And the moment you get out of pain, especially extreme pain, your entire physiology changes, your mental state, then you can sleep better. And now you are in a place to start the healing process. You can't heal in extreme pain. Like you said, that's the alarm that something's wrong, Connie. I love how you put it that way. I haven't heard that before.
Yep. And I love it. One of the things that, kind of when you look in that is how much longer do you want to have that issue, right? What else, people, a lot of times people have tried everything. Maybe they've even got on medications that are, long term. So I want to set some expectations too. Yes, there are many people that we can help get out of that pain, and discomfort, extreme discomfort very, very quickly. But again, that's just the signal. Right? That's just the alarm. And so I want to set expectations too. When you go on to the X39 technology, and perhaps you add in Eon for inflammation and stress, you might add in IceWave for pain. Those things as a combination can work really beautifully together to address that. But X39 is the long game. I always want people to understand that long game. And the long game is, how long did it take you to get there? So if you're sitting here and you're watching and you're 40, it's taken you 40 years to get that way. Would it be reasonable to think that I need 4 months minimum to start to see things change? If you're 60, 70, 80, if you're 80 years old and you're watching this, it took 80 years to get this way. What if you gave 1 month for every decade before you even started thinking about it? What if you gave 2 or 3 months because if you've been compromised for years and years, to help the body get back into balance, to help your body start to be able to make those changes?
Yep. Yeah. Well said. And I know we were supposed to be wrapping in about 5 minutes time. How are you for time?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. So because I would like to share my 2-year anniversary coming up on how these got me out of massive pain and a literal crisis, literally crisis. In addition to that, then we have the video for David to show and a little bit about Code of Creation and the documentary to come out from Mickey Wills and why this will be the household name around the world, plus the free energy and some other technologies coming out from the company over in its roadmap. And 2 years ago, for those people who don't know, December 24th, I'm down here in South America where I am right now. And I'm chewing the night before on the 23rd, it was chicken wing night down at the local whatever place. And so gnawing on it and did something, bit really hard. And oh my gosh, my left molar was loose. So here I am. I could barely sleep that night with the pain. I wake up on December 24th. I text our team. I've got all the patches with me because there's several different ones. IceWave for pain, X39, X49, which is alanine peptide, which helps you regrow your muscle and build and bone faster and ligaments, etc. But for the purpose of the story, I'll keep it short. So the team got with me, you as well, all via text on Christmas Eve day and night. And I disclosed, hey, everything is closed here for 2 weeks in South America. You can't walk into a dentist's office, and you probably don't really want to right away. The only option is a hospital. And I also had stuff leaking from it, right? Infection. And that can be critical because we were told by one of our doctors on our team that said, that infection can go to the heart and that can actually be life-threatening. So again, my choice, I did the wallpaper method with the patches, which is at night, put all the patches right around the side of the tooth and properly, gently brushed and cleansed and rinsed my mouth 3 times a day. 8 weeks later, to the day, I'm eating hamburger, and 2 months later, I'm having meat eating, steak eating contest with our SEAL Team 6 friend, Michael Jaco, and I beat him. He actually turned and people were there to witness it, right? He was like, okay, turn it over, red, green. Like food keeps coming from the Argentine steakhouse. He's like, I'm done. I'm done. He put it over. I'm like, I actually beat Michael Jaco in something. Wow, amazing, right?
It's amazing because he likes
And
his
I know he's
steak.
getting ready for I know he's getting ready for the next rematch. But that's powerful because my ex-father-in-law was the leading periodontist in the world in Toronto, where people flew in on jets from different parts of the world to get their jaw rebuilt or to get implants done by the number one man in the world. And I know what he charged just if you had to extract a molar, put in a new one, and do a little reconstructive surgery. And that was Canadian prices in Toronto. And in addition to that, so I regrew my molar. So I have a new tooth regrown in place and fixed in place as a result of it. Of course, we took care of the critical issue, the infection, all gone thanks to these patches and just simply rinsing with really good stuff like colloidal silver. So as a result of that, this has been powerful for me and powerful for everybody else. And I feel that's one of the reasons why Mickey Willis, his team reached out to David Schmidt because of these current technologies, and they got the inklings on the water machine. And I mentioned everybody in the introduction that this is biblical. So this man actually still goes to Bible study every night. And again, while he's being an inventor, coming up with new technologies, total humanitarian, heart centered in the world. And this water machine, if anybody doesn't know, he decoded the Bible, which said, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. He found the gematria compared to that, found the Newton meter frequencies, this sequential healing, found those Newton meter frequencies, found the same thing in lobsters and copper peptides in our bloodstream. And just like Vulcans went, what's interesting about the healing properties of Vulcans from Star Trek, Spock of our time, is that really possible to find? And he did. And he created an element that doesn't exist on Earth, patented now. And he created a water which has never existed on Earth. Now, one of 20 patents awarded to this machine. And hence, we have the code of creation coming up. And before we step into the video that I have here for David, so everybody sees the mission of this man. Like Blues Brothers 2000 Canada version of Dan Aykroyd he would say, he's on a mission from God, my friend Dan Aykroyd, because all Canadians like to say they're friends of Dan Aykroyd. I'm actually not really, but it would be great, Dan, if you're watching. So this is incredible to me. You and Barry, your husband, have spent time and again in David's presence. Would you mind just sharing for the audience what that's been like and what you've felt as a result of getting involved, now being one of the top in the company, helping others, and where he still stands today?
Yeah, to be a part of David's mission is amazing. And again, I told you in the very beginning of the show that we had to see who was the man behind this company. Company owner, what was he going to do? Was he committed to the channel? For anybody who's ever done relationship marketing and you're a leader, like he was committed to this channel and to all of us that help build this business for him and help him to be able to keep developing these technologies. He is the most humble person I've ever met. His integrity was bar none. I mean, everything. And he really, truly, from the beginning, from the day we met him, he gave all glory for his inventions to God. He's like, I get the download. I get the download and then I go to work. It's not, that I'm this genius. And so he's one that whenever you meet David, one of the things that stuck out to me so profoundly was, we had the opportunity to meet him. He meets a lot of people. The company was smaller. It's grown massively. And we've been the largest growing company in our channel for the past several years. When we met David, we weren't even close to the top 100 companies in the world, and we're now number 23 in a very short time because of X39. And so when we met him, everything we went to, I was the one that at the beginning that was working with the company, and my husband we have other traditional businesses. And so he was doing that. And every single time we saw David, if we were at an event, we were at something, from the very beginning, after meeting us once, we'd walk up and David would be like, "Hi, Connie. Hi, Barry. Very great to see you." You know what I mean? And I thought, all the people he knows, he always has been like that. That's truly his nature and who he is. And so this vision is to help, I love on your show, we talk about the sovereign soul. Well, sovereignty is huge, and everything he creates is about helping you to take care of your own health, helping you to take care of your own energy, helping to take care, as we move into energy technologies, helping you to live a sustainable life. And so it's absolutely amazing what this man does.
It certainly is. And what you're seeing on screen, everybody, is the proposed movie poster for the movie Code of Creation about David and about all of these technologies, which you can see on the screen here too. Greg Braden is in it as well, because Greg Braden has deciphered in 20 years of research the God code. And for a real quick, what with that, he found in Sanskrit, Hebrew, and one of the other ancient languages that it all said the same thing. When you look at the helix structure of the human DNA and the 144,000 that we see in there, and it literally deciphers to God eternal within the body. Now, for anybody who is, religious, I'm spiritual, but spiritual religious too, you sit here and you look at different ancient texts and scriptures, and everything comes back to, whether it's from the Bhagavad Gita, which I've read, all the way through to the Bible, and Bishop Jim O'Connor, our great friend here, stating that the temple is our church and we have God within the body. And then here it is, 20 years of research from a scientist, Greg Braden, saying it says this in Sanskrit, Hebrew, and there's other ancient texts. I'll find that out for the next show, what that was again. And it literally decodes to exactly God eternal within the body. So our blueprint for our species of our incredible, love that. Goldilocks Productions just said, love that in the chat, is truly remarkable. So this code of creation is actually in our stem cells, in our genetic makeup, and it's to be expressed. And I've always felt that too. We are born altruistic. Connie and Barry just became grandparents for the first time. They have a lovely little grandson, and also having children of their own. And you just imagine looking into a baby's face, sleeping, crying, or smiling at you. And you can feel the love and the nature, the innocence and the joy. And I believe that's where we're all going back to as we return to sovereignty in God across the planet. Also our pets, also plants. We haven't even talked about that, but it's incredible. We won't have enough time. We have done it many times on the shows. And what I'd like to go over to now, everybody, is you get to hear this man and you get to see him in his own words, in his own voice, discussing why he does what he does. And he's just really getting started here. And this company will be a household name because very soon, in the next few years, your home, your cars will be powered by the free energy devices from this Tesla, modern day Tesla, 100%. He's a Nikola Tesla of our time, right here today. I think he's reincarnated, really, honestly, and a lot of other things. So here's David Schmidt, 2 minutes about healing the world.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There is more information there than most people would ever realize. I was 8 years old, and my parents wanted to take me to the workshop of Thomas Edison. On the drive back home, I said to my dad, I want to be an inventor. Light, as it turns out, is the primary control mechanism for everything else that happens in the body. What if we could have an external electromagnetic field that would essentially reset the stem cells that are already in our bodies and get them to function like younger, healthier cells? What if in the process we actually found out that in a book that was written thousands of years ago, that information already existed? God has left his fingerprint in natural design, and that blueprint shows up in nature. The mathematical codes are identical. The implications to this are absolutely extraordinary. What drives me is that there's this enormous sense of hope that we can create technology to generate clean energy, that we can have foods that aren't genetically modified, and we can meet all of the needs on the planet that we have to, and that we can heal people.
Goosebumps every time you talk about the God Code. And yes, I am drinking the X2O water, soon to come to the rest of you in the world.
Yeah, incredible.
I got to tell you one thing that Mickey said about making this movie, because a lot of you probably have followed Mickey's other creations, and they're very dark subjects. They're very difficult to watch subjects, and I'm sure for he and his team, very difficult to go and put that out and produce them. And he said working with David, working with LifeWave, was such a breath of fresh air and joy for his team, because now they're working in the light. Now they're working and developing a creation with this wonderful documentary that is light and joyful. And he said it brought so much to energy to his entire team to be a part of this project. And I love seeing all the different biotech hacking individuals, that you'll get to see when it comes out. It's amazing.
Truly, truly amazing. And Connie, I appreciate you once again for taking the time to do this live stream today on December 17th, everybody. This is the last show on this platform, last show for the season right here, and ending it on Warriors of Wellness, because I felt for everybody, you and the audience, that it would be really important to be inspired. It's not just hope. Hope is wanting something without a strategy. I mean, all the mechanisms are in place here for us to be living in a society, a tier one civilization, exactly what we have from Star Trek, to borrow the term, which is you have free energy in your home. You have an ability to heal at with remarkable results and fast. You have an ability as well with LifeWave right now to be able to harness it to reverse aging, which anybody who looks at my shows for the last few years, never worn makeup, right? Been on movie sets. One time on a movie set, I had to do hair and makeup, so for a part. But I mean, on these shows, there's no makeup, there's nothing. This is literally reversing aging in my body by taking me back to a biological age, which I'll get there very soon, to be in my early 20s. And that's all completely possible. And I'll just hallmark that with an example that Connie saw with our team before I came on here. On Monday, I did a 5-kilometer run, 100 dips, 100 dead hang crunches, 100 kettlebell swings, 140 scissor crunches as well. And only 2 months ago, as people have seen in the audience, I had a partially torn quadricep muscle on my left. I had what was likely a separated rib on my left side of my rib cage, and I had also received an injury in my shoulder, and seems like I had torn a muscle in it from surfing just last month. And so leveraging these patches and this technology to get my body speeding up, because I've been on it for 26 months now, the regeneration is incredible. And before coming on here today, I ran a 10K and I did 100 scissor leg crunches each side of my body before I showered up, had breakfast, and came on here with Connie. And it's 100% to the nutrition and these patches. So everybody, this is incredible. And I thank LifeWave. And this is what winning is all about, the leadership and people who want to join our team as well, to share this light, your beings of light, to share this light. All that's available to you too over on the webpage. You can even call for support. We have Live Younger Sports and also liveyounger.com/Buddha. You can see the links below. But we also have additional information if you want to dive into the 70 patents on the X39 sticker. Yes, you can get it right there. The 10 years of stem cell research, etc. It's all there. There's that video. You can show it to your friends at liveyounger.com. LifeWave.com/Buddha. You can see incredible results. You can listen to other people share it, because this is an incredible business to be in, sharing the light with people, getting your patches for free when you do that as well. Or you can just try it with 100% money back guarantee and get X39 for $99. That's the Gretzky number, the greatest of all time, Wayne Gretzky. So thank you. Thank you all. Anything to add to it as we wrap here now, Connie? With your
No, thank you. Please reach out to Brad's team. He has an amazing team. They'll support you. And the goal for Brad isn't to sell you a patch. The goal is that you get your desired result. And all of us as a team are here to support you in getting what it is that you want out of this, whether that be for just your own personal health, or whether you look at it like we did of, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. We have something that everybody needs, hardly anybody knows about, and it's an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, it's getting ahead of the wave on everybody before the world wakes up and knows about it. Connie, thank you so much. Everybody, God bless you. We'll see you next time. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you in the new year. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, follow, subscribe, share this with 9 friends and family. And of course, if you enjoy our Bling Buddha firing red pills from his 9mm, let us know.